Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Y'all see the Michigan jerseys on. That means we got a commitment for the Michigan Wolverines, going and grabbing one of the top players from the state of Indiana, cornerback Jo'Ziah Edmond. I got a lot of takes on Jo'Ziah Edmond and for this Michigan class in 2024. It's obviously been a rough couple of weeks for Michigan on the recruiting trail, losing out on guys like Bryce West, Aaron Scott this weekend. But I think what you see here is a really nice pivot play by Jim Harbaugh, Jesse Minter, Steve Clinkscale, and kind of like this is how recruiting works sometimes. You're not always going to get your top targets on your board. The ability to pivot and go get quality players is still very, very impactful. And I think Michigan did that with Jo'Ziah Edmond. Going to dive into the film a little bit and then talk about how this Michigan class has come together and maybe a few more commitments we might see in the next following days. Now, before that, I just want to say thank you to you guys. It's any chance I get a chance to talk Michigan and high school recruiting, I'm certainly taking it up on it. Two of my favorite things to talk about. The support you guys have shown truly does mean a lot. So if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate y'all rocking with the boys like you do. And let's get into Jo'Ziah Edmond. And my first take on this is former Purdue commit. Ryan Walters is the new head coach at Purdue. And there hasn't been a better evaluator of talent, specifically in the secondary, than Ryan Walters and what he did at Illinois, right? As the defensive coordinator at Illinois, he goes out and takes some diamonds in the rough, guys like Devon Witherspoon, who go top 5 in the NFL draft, and a multitude of other guys in that secondary. Ryan Walters has proven to be one of the better scouts and talent evaluators at that cornerback position. And if Ryan Walters wanted to take Jo'Ziah Edmond at that cornerback spot, I certainly trust that he's going to be a quality cornerback and a nice flip of the commitment for Michigan, because we've talked about it a lot. This Michigan class has come together quite nicely. I mean, I don't think there's many Michigan fans, although it's been a couple of tough weeks. I don't think there's many Michigan fans that are going to say up here and say this is a bad class in 2024. I mean, you have your quarterback of the future in Jaden Davis. You have a phenomenal offensive line, two really quality running backs. The defensive line looks phenomenal as well. One thing we were missing, and we kind of kept talking about it as a storyline, is the lack of a cornerback commit in this 2023 class. The ability to pivot and go get Jo'Ziah Edmond, I think, is massive. Now, I want to get into the film, too, because I don't want to talk about Jo'Ziah Edmond just being a pivot player, because he's a very exciting prospect to watch. And if you guys listen to me and kind of my takes on some of these guys coming out of high school, specifically at that cornerback position, I'll look for three things, right? Ball skills, length, and long speed. And Jo'Ziah Edmond sitting at 6'1", 185 pounds, playing both offensive and defensive side of the ball, and having that length and long speed, he kind of checks all the boxes. You fire up the film, the first thing you see is the ball skills. I mean, this dude is a legitimate playmaker. This first play, one of the more impressive plays I've seen on film in a very long time. Kind of like Jordan Lewis when he had that interception against Wisconsin. When that football's in the air, Jo'Ziah Edmond looks very, very comfortable playing and going up and getting the football. Now, you see the athleticism, the movement skills with the offensive reps as well. But again, going back to his reps at defense, you see press man coverage, no safety over the top, turns his head around, goes and finds the football and makes a play. That's something that Michigan cornerbacks have historically struggled with, right? When that football's in the air, not really playing it, because of all his reps on the offensive side of the ball, when that football's in the air, Jo'Ziah Edmond, very comfortable playing it, and you're going to see he's a ball hawk machine, and turnovers at the college football level are massive, and Jo'Ziah Edmond certainly has that in his game. And when you watch him on the offensive side of the ball, you have any questions about his movement skills, his long speed, they certainly get answered. You're talking about an elite caliber of athlete on both sides of the football, but again, I really like him, kind of like a Marion Walker, right? Starts his career on the offensive side of the ball, transitions to the defensive side. A guy like Jo'Ziah Edmond, I think, could be a really nice get for the Michigan Wolverines. Again, looking at him at the defensive side of the ball, I love watching him. I think he's very smooth. He understands the position, breaks on the football. You talk about tackling, certainly can do that too. Now, let's get into this Michigan class in 2024, because we haven't really been able to recap it because we haven't really had many commitments in the last couple of weeks. You have a very complete class. This is your 27th commit. I want to talk about what this class could look like, right? And I think we all have to talk about Gatlin Bear committing this Saturday. I think he would be like the perfect way to round out this class, be our 28th commitment. You got Jaden Davis, phenomenal running back in Jordan Marshall, two really good tight ends in Hogan Hansen and Brady Prieskorn. Combine that with a phenomenal offensive line. You're talking about an elite offensive class with a quarterback, an offensive line, a plethora of skill guys. And then on the defensive side of the ball, a really deep group up front. And the one question mark we had was, okay, we have a guy like Jacob Oden in the secondary as a safety. Now, where are our cornerbacks coming from? A guy like Jo'Ziah Edmond makes you feel a little bit better about this Michigan class. And there's another guy coming in the pipelines we're battling out Kentucky for in Jeremiah Lowe, 5'11", 170 from Lexington, Kentucky, another top player from the state of Kentucky. This would be another nice addition for Michigan as we, again, try to pivot and grab some cornerbacks in this class. Again, for Michigan fans, I know losing on Aaron Scott, losing on Bryce West, two guys that Michigan put a ton of capital and time and energy into recruiting, that stings, but that's part of recruiting. And then the ability to, okay, we didn't get those guys. Who are our next guys on our board? Who can we go out and get? You're seeing Michigan start kicking the tires for that. And again, we land a guy like Jeremiah Lowe. I think you're starting to feel a little bit better about this Michigan class as a whole, because you already feel great about it, looking like it's going to stick as a top 5 class in the country. Adding a guy like Jo'Ziah Edmond, although not an ideal world, you wanted Aaron Scott, you wanted Bryce West. We'll take Jo'Ziah Edmond, and I don't have to remind Michigan fans. We've had plenty of guys who are 3 stars, under the radar guys, turn out to be phenomenal players, right? Rod Moore is the guy that's sticking out to me right now. Comes in as a 3-star, plays early as a freshman. He's looking like he's going to be a top 50 draft pick in the 2024 NFL draft. So don't just look at the star rankings. You got to trust Michigan's evaluation on these guys. And again, a nice pivot for Michigan to round out what is a very good 2024 class. Again, appreciate you guys rocking with the boys. And if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate y'all. And we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.